Hi all, welcome to the new video on Docker, which is one of the part of learning DevOps. And Docker is the major tool in making containerized apps. So basically, before getting into Docker, you must know what is Docker, and most probably all the people might know about Docker who are all kickstarting their journey in DevOps. Actually, which make the need for Docker. The reason behind that is a person is developing an app. It may be a node-based app or it may be a fast API based app, anything. And after developing this one, and he's sharing the code to some other one, and he's trying to run the code in his machine. And in some cases, it will fail to run because of the dependencies. And the new guy who is running the application, he is not aware of the requirements, what are all need to run the application. In that case, there is a delay in deployment of that application will happen. So to overcome that, there is a thing called Dockerization, that is containerization is developed. It is what people will do is they will pack or wrap up their application into a container which is having the needed dependencies, then the app code, then what are the environment needed, the commands for installing the environment and providing the running commands. All those things will be there inside this containerization. So Docker is a tool which make this container. So basically, it's a kind of like you can run a code and it will do the things for you. It will wrap up your application with the needed things like it will install the needed required plugins or libraries, whatever, and it will run the command. All those things it will do. But one thing the developer has to do that he has to tell the Docker with a set of instructions what are all needed for the app to be run successfully. So that's the major thing. So I'll let you run through the world of Docker and run some, learn what are the basic things in Docker, how it is visualized, all those things I will explore you in a little video. And here we are going to deploy a little task on the way at the end of the video. So we are not going to discuss broadly about the app code and all, but we are going to discuss about the DevOps part of the particular app. Okay. So before getting into Docker, we should know about the requirements for running the Docker application on your machine. So basically, you need two things. One is Docker desktop, that is what is one. Okay. And other one is WSL. This is the other one, that is Windows subsystem. Okay, both these things we need to have Docker in your system. So basically, to install this one WSL, what you have to do is nothing. You need to do more in this. Just what you have to do is you have to just go to like WSL, like first you have to go to the PowerShell. Okay, right. WSL, you can give hyphen hyphen install. So this is the command you have to run in order to get the WSL. And another way you can go for the go to the store, Microsoft Store. Here also you can see like if you are checking like WSL, you can get it from here too. So it will have the different distributions of Linux will be available for this. So you can go for Ubuntu, then this one Ubuntu 24.04, 20.04, 18.04, whatever thing you can install over there. And yeah, this one Docker desktop also we need. We can install from here itself. That also you can do. So both the things are available over the Microsoft Store. That also you can do. Or else you can go to Google and get it a desktop, Docker desktop downloaded from there. That one also you can do. Like Docker desktop for Windows. Here also you can download. Okay, both the way you can use it. So you are having the Docker desktop version, and here also you have the link for getting it from Microsoft Store. So this is the minimum requirement. That is, you need a WSL with Ubuntu or Kali Linux or whatever it may be. Okay, so these are the two requirements you have to be in your system, right? And once you got installed with the WSL, you can check like WSL distro, that is a distribution, Linux distribution, what you got installed in your system that you can check with this command. That is WSL hyphen hyphen list hyphen hyphen verbose. Okay, so myself is having like Ubuntu is there, then Kali Linux is there, and Docker Desktop also I had in my WSL. Okay, these are the three things I'm having. Okay, and once you got installed with the Docker Desktop, um, you need like integrate the WSL with the Docker Desktop. For that, what you have to go do is you have to click on the settings. You have to go to the resources, then WSL integration. You can enable integration with my default WSL resource that is Ubuntu. Okay, that you can apply and it will start working perfectly with your Docker desktop. So actually, this Docker desktop will have the Docker engine. Okay, this is what the Docker engine, and this plays a major role. And the WSL help you to communicate with Docker engine. Okay, so that's what these requirements are binded together. Okay, yeah, that's all about this thing. And here we are going to discuss about the basics of Docker in this video. Okay, so first of all, after installing the Docker, you can access this Docker from two ways. That is, you can access it from the PowerShell, or else you can get into your Ubuntu terminal. That also you can do. Here also you can access, as well as here also you can access. Both the things you can do. Like the first thing, what I am going to check, that is the first command for Docker. What I'm going to run is Docker, then hyphen hyphen version. So the same command you can run over here too, like Docker hyphen hyphen version. You will get the answer, right? So you can either go with partial or you can either go with this Ubuntu which you got installed with the WSL. Both the things you can use, right? And coming to the next one, we have to find it. I'm closing this one. I'll follow the PowerShell hereafter. The first thing what I can do is we can see the information about this Docker info, a simple command. Okay, so it will give the total information about the Docker. What are the things currently I'm having in the Docker? All those things it will display over here. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss about brief about the details about the Docker over there. That is not needed for any person. Basically, okay. And the very first command, you are not going to be making an app right now. The first command is you are going to run a small app as a container. Okay, so like it's a testing application which is available over the Docker Hub. So Docker run hello world. Okay, so the first line what it is showing is unable to find image hello world latest locally. So whenever you are running a command like this, what it will do is it will search the local Docker, what you are having, Docker repository, what you are having in your system, and check whether it is available, the image of that one. I'll discuss about what is this image, all those things. I'll let you know in the forthcoming uh, instructions. I'll let you know. Okay. So basically, this is what the thing. Whenever you are running a command to run a container, the container needs an image to run. Like we will, I'll give an example for this. Like when you are in need of installing a OS and you are trying to making a bootable disk with an USB drive. What you will download? You will download an image of an OS, right? That's what the thing. Here, the image of a particular application is needed to run a container. So exactly that one. Okay. So here in my Docker, I am not having Hello World image. So it is going to the global Docker hub and it is fetching from there. That is pulling from there and it is running that one. And the message from this application is hello from Docker. Okay. And this is a global one and you can see like whatever it is. And coming to the next one. So in that way, I'm going to run a Ubuntu image. Okay, I'm going to run a Ubuntu Linux image. Just I'm doing like here. First of all, I'll show the container what we have right now, right? I missed the Docker desktop. Just a minute. Okay. So you can see the containers what are running currently. Here, even I had run the Hello World application. It run for a minute and it will stop. You can see this. So I have clicked this one. It will run and it will stop. Okay. I'll show you it in a clear manner. So I'm running a Ubuntu image. So it is checking for an Ubuntu image in my Docker, and here it will be displayed. So here I'm having so many images, but there is no Ubuntu image. Okay, so it will check locally. If it is not available, it will get from the global Docker hub, and it will download and deploy the container. Okay, if your container is running, you can see that in the Docker desktop app. It will show the like this. It will have a stop button over here. Okay, wait for a few minutes. It will do the download and then it will deploy. So I had run the command, right? So you think like it should reflect over here in the container. You can see like Ubuntu, where it is. Yeah, Ubuntu is deployed, but whenever you start, it will start and stop, right? It won't run. Okay. So and coming to these images, you can see the image. And Hello World also you're having the image. Once you got downloaded, it will be available over there. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to delete this Ubuntu container what is deployed earlier. Sorry, not this one. Okay, got deleted. Okay, so it got deleted. Again, I'm going to run the same command in a different manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, access its terminal. Okay, so like hyphen it Ubuntu, and then I'm giving bash. So first I'll run this one and then we'll get into the bash. Okay. Now the image is already available, so it will deploy very fastly. Okay. So here I am accessing the terminal, right? Okay. So it got executed inside the terminal, and I'm inside the terminal of the particular Ubuntu, and you can see the Ubuntu is running, the container is running, right? So this is what the thing. I hope you people can understand what actually it is. So I had not installed Linux in my system. I'm running a Ubuntu machine over the Docker as a container. So a machine is running and OS image is running as a container. Okay, this is what a simple thing. Okay, so here the major advantage of this one is it won't check about or it will deploy the dependencies for running the Ubuntu, all those things it will done over there itself in the Docker container itself. It won't uh, check whether the dependency is there or anything like that. But basically, when you are running this Dockerization, you need two things. One, either you should have Hyper-V virtualization embedded in your CPU. But that's a minimum first thing you need. Okay, that is very needed for this virtualization thing. Not only this one, whatever virtualization technology you are going, it should need Hyper-V or a virtualization enabled CPU. Okay, hardware virtualization. So you might think like the same thing is there in virtual machine that you might see, you might think, right? But the thing is different. In virtual machine, separate memory space, separate RAM space should be allocated to the VM machine. But here it won't be like that. It will share the host space and it will share the host resources to run the Docker. Okay, so that's the advantage of this Docker. So now we will get into the each and everything of Docker. So first thing what I'm going to do is the very first command. What I'm going to do is uh, so I get close to the terminal and the Ubuntu container got stopped, right? So let it be. We will uh, remove this and further move. We will remove this containers. So the very first thing is the basic thing to run a container is it should need an image, right? So image is nothing but it may be a OS image, it may be a application software or a image that is a apps code as an image like that. Something should be there as an image, right? It may be a MySQL image, it may be a PostgreSQL image, it may be a Redis cache server image, like that. So many things, Nginx image, like that. Anything will be there. So the first thing is you can list the there is a command to list the images in your Docker. So, so Docker images. So here all the things, whatever it's showing, all the things I had download. Few of the things are downloaded one. Few of the things are created by myself. So these are the images. Whatever images you are having in the Docker, it will be listed over here with the command, with the help of the command, Docker images. Okay. So the second one, if you need a new image from the Docker Hub, okay, you are not having that in your local system. I can show you, right? Here you can see I'm having couple of images, but there is no Nginx image, right? There is no Nginx server image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download a Nginx image, Docker, like GitHub command. You can use pull Nginx. In GitHub, what's the purpose of pull? It will pull the repository, right? GitHub repository. The same thing, this will also pull the Nginx from the Docker Hub. It's a kind of repository. Okay. Docker Hub is nothing but a repository of Docker images. So I'm doing that. And for doing this, you need internet. That's very much needed. Okay. So this one got installed, right? Like we had pulled the image, like Nginx image from the global Docker hub, right? And you can verify whether it is there in your images section. And it's not a container, it's an image, okay? So I'm having that over here. It's not running as a container or anything, right? So this is the way you can see like images is there or not. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a image. So here we are having two images which is not needed anymore. So first of all, before deleting anything, you should delete the particular container which is associated with that image. So to delete the container, you need to have either the container name or the container ID. With both the things you can use for this. Okay. So this is the next one. What we are going to do is we are going to remove a container. Okay. So I'm going to remove this container. I'm copying the container ID from this one, or else you can make it like if you want to see the comments. So here we are having Docker desktop. If you are running in the Linux, you need to have this one Docker ps minus a. So minus a in the sense that is hyphen a in the sense I'll put it like here. Sorry, Docker ps hyphen a. So it will list all the available containers which are all running, which are all not running. All those things will be there. Here the thing, all the containers are in exited state. So nothing is running currently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove two of the containers. One is Ubuntu as well as the other one is Hello World because Docker will consume your memory space, right? So I'm going to remove these two things. Either you can give like Docker or Ubuntu. Oh, sorry, Docker name is okay, name is there in the Docker desktop. Usually in the command line, you won't get the Docker name. These are all image name. It's not the Docker name. Okay. So I am going to use the container ID. And you need not to type the entire container ID. Just you have to type the first four like 3881C. Okay. So it got deleted. So again, I am listing the containers. So here you can see there is no Ubuntu. Okay. So that's the way. If you know the container name, you can use the container name too, right? So I'll try with the container name. So there is a thing called Vibrant Canon. Basically, this is what the container name. So you can do this one also, right? So now there is no hello world container. Okay. Now I'm having a local container, right? I'm having a local Nginx image, sorry, local image Nginx. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that image as a container. So already I had done for the local Ubuntu, right? The same way, Docker run Nginx. So it started running. Okay, here you can see like it's running, but basically once it started running, you can't able to do anything, right? You can't able to do anything. So you have to stop in order to access the command prompt. Once you are stopping, automatically your container will stop over there, right? So to overcome this one, what we can do is we can run this container in the detached mode. So some server containers, Postgre containers, like that, some you can't able to access that once it is started running, right? So in that case, you can go with detached mode. For that, you have to give a hyphen D, which will say like it will run the detached mode. And I'm going to enter this. So it started running and it will run in a detached mode. Okay, you can see Nginx is started running and it will run in a detached mode in a background. In the background, it will run. Okay, and this one is the old one. We got started and stopped. Okay, we had stopped that one. I'll delete that one. No is unnecessarily no need to run anything. And now it's running, right? And you are having a container ID, a biggest container ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this one. Docker stop. Then your container ID like F8088 or 08. That's enough. It will got stopped, right? And again, I am checking whether there is any active containers. Docker PS is the command for listing the active containers. There is no active container currently running because I get stopped that particular container, right? Again, what I'm going to do is I'm running the same container again, right? But in a different way. Start. This is the way you have to start a container again. Now you can use Docker PS. It will show that it's running, right? And it is using the port 80. Now, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the particular, that is, I'm going to remove the particular container. I'm not removing the image, I'm removing the container. Sorry, I have given the name which is not available as the Nginx. I'm going to give the container ID 808, right? Yeah. Here the problem is it's running as a, uh, we had started this one and it's running in a detached mode. That is, it's running the detached mode, so you can't be able to stop it, right? It's still run. You can't able to remove because it's in the detached mode. You can't able to access or uh, remove it. So what I'll do is I'll stop the container and then I'll do this. Now it's got removed. Okay, so there is no container, right? So this is the way. So you can see like it started running in the port 80, right? Now I need to run it in my local system with an IP, with a port number. Okay. So what I have to do is the same command docker run -d nginx. In front of that, you have to provide the port number too. I'll use the port 80 because currently 8080 I can go for 8080 or 8081 or 8083 anything. This is what my local live host port number, and then 80 is the Docker's port. So we are mapping. That is port mapping is done over here. So 8081 80. So whatever application you are running as in the Docker container, either it may be a Postgres, either it may be a Node project, or it may be a Fast API project. If you want to run locally and you have to access through your browser, then you have to map the port to your local port. So the first part is your local port and the second part is your remote, that is Docker port. Okay. So I am giving this one and I'm entering. So the Docker started running and is exposed to the port 8081, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to access this local host colon 8081. You can see the welcome to Nginx page, right? So this is the way you are going to access your application. I think you hope understood what I am trying to make you understand. Like when you are running an application as a container, you can access, you have to expose this through your local port. then you can access from your browser. This is the way you have to access. Okay, so till now we had discussed about the things like a doc command for doc listing the Docker images, the command for pulling the image from the hub, then stopping a Docker, listing the Dockers, stopping a Docker container, listing the Docker containers, listing the active Docker containers as well as listing the inactive and active Docker containers. So all the commands we had seen and removing a container, that thing also we had discussed, right? Now the next step what I'm going to do is I'm stopping this container, that is E7 ED. So it got stopped and I'm going to remove this. I don't need it further. So E7 ED. Okay. So I had deleted this, the container. Okay. I had removed the container. Now what I'm going to do is nothing but going to remove the image what are all I don't need in my system. Okay. So first thing what I have to do is I have to list the image, that is Docker images. So I am having a plenty of images, right? So in this I don't need an Nginx latest as well as Scholar Welded latest as well as Ubuntu latest. Okay. So what I have to do is Docker. Instead of RM, I have to give RMI, that is remove images, RMI, then your image name. So what I am going to do is Nginx colon latest. Okay, so it will remove that. It untagged it and it deleted that one. And then what I am going to delete is Docker RMI hello world. Okay, hello world. So it got deleted. And the next what I am going to do is Ubuntu. Look at this. I'm going to give Ubuntu. It will identify the latest tagged things over there, either with baby. If you are having one or two um, images with the same name, it will find the tag to identify the particular one. So first one I had given the tag, the second one I had given the image name, and the third one also I had given the image name, right? In that way, you can delete anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to list the images again. So now you can see there is no Ubuntu, there is no Hello World, there is no Nginx, right? I have removed all the unwanted images. So this is the first thing, right? So the images is the heart of the container. So with the images only, it will run the container. Okay. And in the next level, what we are going to do is, okay, for every system, like if you are having a desktop, if you are having a laptop, if you are having a mobile or anything, there is you need of a storage, right? That is what persistent storage you need to have your data for a long time. So that is what called as volume, right? So volume is nothing but the hard disk or SSD, whatever you are having in your laptops, right? So yeah, we are going to discuss about volumes. And the first thing you can see like whether you are having any volumes because I am having few implementations I had already done. So when you are giving Docker volume, it won't list like when you are giving Docker images, it listed all the images, right? Here it won't work. So in this instead of that, what you have to do is Docker volume ls. Okay, so this much of volume I am having. So we are going to create a new volume. Okay, so for that, what the command you have to use is Docker. volume, create, then your volume name. I can make it as demo disk. Okay, demo disk. So now I can list it again. So you can see that my demo disk is there, right? It's already created. And these are all volumes which are all created when you are running a application or anything. It will deploy and volume and it will utilize that, right? So I had earlier, I had uh, uh, I'm having a Postgres data volume, I'm having a MongoDB volume, all those things I had created earlier. Fine. So now the next what I'm going to do is, mm, yeah, you can inspect a particular volume. Yeah, another one thing I had missed up with the container also. Yeah, I'll check within one of the container. Here we are having multiple containers, right? So I'm going with this one. So this is what the command, that is inspect command, is used to inspect the particular container, and you can get the details of the detail of the container, particular container. Okay, so here I had taken the e-commerce DB, which is a Postgres container, and it is showing the things like what's the type of container, what I'm running, and whether it is in the running state or in the pause state or in the restarting phase, or then when it gets started at the first time and when it had been stopped in the same day, and then the image what it is using, then the driver what it is using, then what is the name of the particular container, then what is the storage of that particular where the data got stored, because Postgres is having a particular library data where it will be stored, right? And which network it is running, that is a network mode. This one is network mode. In this network, which is using host port, it is using 5433. That is, it is exposed via 5433. Usually, the Postgres will run in 3.2, but in my system, I'm having a local installation of Postgres. That's why I'm exposing to 5433. Okay, and you can see the, yeah. So I'll discuss about these storage things. We will discuss about what are the types of storages available. And that later on we will discuss. Okay. And the volume, the disk, what we are using is Postgres data, and it will map with the source. Like this is the local source, what it is mapped, and this is the destination where it will store. Like that, all these details will be available over there, like the environment variables, all those things you can able to see over here with the use of Docker inspect uh, container name. Okay, so before getting into the volume in detail, so volume we are having, yeah, volume we are also having the same thing. To list the volume, we had seen the command for list the volume, right? That we had discussed already. Then you can inspect the volume too. Can inspect the volume too, right? Docker. So whenever you are using image or volume, like you can use the particular attribute like property name, resource name, not property name, it's a resource name. So inspect, then your volume name, what the volume name we had given, demo disk, right? Demo disk, I think so. Yeah. So you are having the things, right? You are having the created date, then the name of this one, and what is the mount point, all those things it's showing, right? So it will like look like an image, Linux kind of mounting, right? That's what we are using WSL over there. And now the next one, you need to identify which container is using my volume, right? Because when you are deleting a volume, it will affect a container, right? If it is attached with a container earlier. So in that manner, what we are going to test is we are going to check whether the particular um, particular volume is used by whom, which container is using this particular volume. For that, what you have to do is Docker ps minus a in the sense active or inactive, all those things it will do, right? Then filter volume. So volume is one of the attribute of the Docker container. That's why we are filtering with that one. And I'm going to give like Postgres data because I'm having a Postgres data volume. Okay, that I'm filtering out, and it will mm, a Postgres data. I think it Postgres data. Yeah, exactly Postgres data. Okay, just a minute. Nothing is used by this side. Just a minute. I will inspect this one. Inspect Postgres data. So nothing is using currently. No application or anything is containers are accessing this one. So I'll enable another one. I'll enable this. Okay. Okay. There is no volume. I have made something. Yeah, Postgres underscore data. I had made a mistake over there. That's what I wanted. Because, yeah, like yeah, I had made a mistake on this underscore data. So I can see like I'm having a e-commerce DB which is utilizing this one. Actually, you might think like I started this one and it's showing like that you are thinking, but it's not the truth. You can see like even if it is not running, it will bind, show the binded container. With that, you can aware of before deleting, you have to check whether it's binded within one of your container. So accidental deletion can be avoided for this, okay, with the use of this one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a DB and I'm going to show you what is the need for this persistent data disk. There's the volume or for the use of this one. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a new container, the same Postgres container. Okay. So I'm going to use the same Postgres container. And I think I had not deleted, hope I had not deleted demo disk. Yeah, I had not deleted the demo disk. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do right now. First thing, the same command docker run, and I'm going to run this one in the detached mode because it should run uh, in the background. So I'm going to give it a name. The name of this one is PostgreSDB. PostgreSDB. So I think it's not there already. Whether it's there, container name to Postgres. I think hope it is not there. So I'm going to utilize as PostgreSDB. Then I'm going to give the environment variables because every database server needs some environment variable, right? So for that environment variable, what you have to give is -e Postgres underscore user, and I'm giving it as admin, and another one, this one, another one environment variable Postgres password, password equal to admin. Then the next environment variable is -e uh, Postgres DB equal to product DB. I'll make it as like product DB. User DB. I'll make it as user DB. A school DB. I can make it a school DB because I'm not sure whether I'm having these DB names earlier in my machine. And then I'm exposing this one to 5437. This is my local port I'm going to expose, and the local, Docker port is 5432. And then I'm pointing to my volume. The volume what I'm going to use is demo disk, and I'm going to map with the Postgres data, right? That is where/lib/. So if you are having knowledge, like if you are running Postgres SQL in uh, PostgreSQL in Linux, you might aware of this one. The data will be available, SQL data will be available in this path actually. And then I'm using the image Postgres. I'm having an image over there in my Docker. So this is what the image I'm having. So I'm utilizing that one. Postgres, and its tag name is like Alpine. 15 Alpine is the tag name. So I'm going to use that 15 Alpine tag name over there. So for running these local images, there is no need of internet or anything. Okay. Data, sorry, I had made a mistake. Instead of data, I had given DTA. Okay. What are the volumes available? my old comments actually. Yeah, that's fine. So the mistake I had did is, yeah, this one on point. Okay, now I had created a PostgreSDB and I had exposed to the port um, 5437, right? And with the data disk. Okay, and I'm going to connect this one. That is what PostgreSDB I'm going to connect. Just a minute. There is earlier I had run the Postgres one earlier. That's why I'm going to that particular. Yeah, this is another 1 TB what I'm having. So instead of typing that, I'm giving this. So this is what your username, and this username is nothing but admin, and my DB name is, what's my DB name I had given? School DB, right? School DB. Cool. Admin, what's the fatal password? Admin is not there. What I had given password is same. Okay. Um, so the mistake I had did is instead of Postgres user, here I had given psdgress. That's what it made a mistake over there. So yeah. So what I have to do is I have to stop the container again. So I'll go with E998. Okay, I am stopping the container and I'm removing the container. Okay, so again I'm going to deploy it again with the, yeah, I'm going to rectify the mistake with adding O, sorry, create the O. So now it's created and I'm going to associate by this one, is what, just a minute, ADMIN. So both password authentication, again the password, whether I had missed anything. So the problem is we had already attached the persistent disk and it have only one time it will run this Postgres admin these things password and that will run only one time. It's a trap of Docker actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the container again. So before that Docker sorry, stop. I had given the container name as Postgres DB, right? Postgres underscore DB. So I get stopped at that one and I'm removing that like minus f Postgres DB. So it will clear the, it will go with the fresh thing like hyphen F. So we are going to create all those things from the fresh things like we are going to create a container as fresh one and we are going to remove the disk also, data disk also. Okay, so docker volume run, the name of that one is demo disk, right? Demo disk. Okay, now both the things I had deleted, and again I'm running the same command. Postgres user, Postgres admin, all those things. Before that, I'll do one thing. I'll clear the window so that we can access it neatly. Hope there is no errors in the command. Yeah, it's created. So again, I'm trying to connect it. ADMIN. Yeah, now it's got connected. It's great. Okay, fine. Now I am going to create a table in this DB. Okay, so create table, make it as employees. Yeah, employees. Then I can give a ID and serial. Then I will make it as a primary key, right? And another one I'll make like text. Okay. I think I have created a table, so it's done. And I'll check whether it is created or not. So I have the table, right? Owner is admin. Fine. And I'm going to insert some data over there. Insert into employees of name, because ID is auto generate primary key, so it will make auto generation with the use of serial. And then values, I'm going to make use of like Felix and Savio. Okay, and then go with that. Something. Yeah, I had missed something. Okay. So I'm going to run this command, select star from employees. So Felix and Xavier will be there, right? Okay. So two data are there. Now what I'm going to do is, so there is a data disk, there is a container which is running Postgres, right? I had created a table. We're all clear about the things. Three things are available. One is the container and attached to volume, which is the demo disk. And I had created a table and I inserted some values, all those things, right? Fine. So now I'm exiting this Postgres. And again, what I'm going to do is, yeah, mm, I'm going to delete this one again. Okay. So I'm going to remove the container. So it got removed. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, if it is deleted, the data, whatever deleted, it should be deleted, right? Usually it will happen. But the use of this volume is to have persistent data. Even the container got deleted, the demo disk will not get deleted. So I'll show you the demo disk whether it is available or not, right? Docker volume ls, right? So you can see like demo disk is still available out there, right? So what I'm going to do is again I'm going to create another one, Postgres DB check. Okay, this is what the next container I'm going to create. Check with the same credentials. I'm not going to change any other thing. So the exact thing, other things, and I'm mapping the demo disk right now. So I'm mapping the demo disk back to the new one. Okay, and I'm running this command. It got created, and again I'm running the PSSQL command on, and I'm logging into this. Okay, now I am checking whether the things are available. So you can see it's available. So even you can run the select query. So it's there, right? So I think it's a long time we had discussed all those things, right? So that's it. So we had discussed about images, then containers, then volumes. Three things we had discussed in the Docker. So we can discuss the remaining things in the next video. Thanks for watching.